welcome to the second edition of Quiet Storm's Corner. Today we are going to be talking about holiday blues. However, before I get onto the topic of holiday blues, I wanted to bring up the topic of T.I. because I've had a lot of people asking for me to discuss my opinion on the whole T.I. discussion on whether or not it's okay to take your daughter to the gynecologist to check and see if her hymen's still intact. I've heard people say it's great parenting, he's an engaged father, and then I've heard people say it's very archaic, misogynistic, controlling in practice. What I will say is I don't see anything wrong with parents going to the gynecologist with their child. I think it's an important place to give your child support. I think going there to make sure they have proper birth control, making sure that their health is fine, are all great reasons to take your child to the gynecologist, especially if they're requesting it from you. However, going to the gynecologist to make sure someone's hymen's intact, if it's not part of your culture, I think it's very detrimental and it's poor form of teaching your child responsible sexual health practices. One I like to say is someone's virginity. Virginity is a very, in my opinion, obscure term, because I look at carrying something around like this as not really the most innocent activity to do, something that represents murder, something that represents blood. We are okay with having children carry around this from a very, very young age, but having them know what this is, what a tampon is, a pad is, these are all things that people define as problematic. And I think we really need to rethink how are we teaching our children healthy sexuality, and also how do we define innocence and virginity. Just because someone has a hymen intact does not mean they're not sexually active in many other forms. They could be having oral sex, they can be having anal sex, they can be doing a lot of heavy petting, they can be doing a whole lot of things that can still lead them to receiving STIs. So I think what the real true discussion is how do we teach our children to be sex positive and sexually healthy individuals, because going to the gynecologist is not going to teach them that. How do we maintain children's innocence? Having them carry around things like this and not talking to them about things like this is not going to help them remain their innocence, keep their innocence. If anything, it's going to put them in places where they don't have the knowledge to make sure that they're taking care of themselves. I think when it comes to the hymen, as we all know, there's many different reasons why the hymen may not be intact that go way outside of any type of penetrative activity that's sexual. So there's one thing that's wrong there in that whole discussion. We don't even know what someone's sexual orientation is. They can be doing all kinds of different things. And I think it's very harmful to judge someone's sexual debut or virginity based on, or whether or not they've had sexual intercourse based on whether or not they've had penis and vagina intercourse. If someone's had oral sex, if someone's had anal sex, if they've had all kinds of other forms of sex, I think it's okay for them to still consider themselves sexually active. All that to say is that I think I understand T.I.'s purpose. I understand a lot of people thinking that he's being engaged. However, it's not the best way to teach your child to be sexually healthy and be a healthy human being. I would prefer that people actually taught their children what do healthy relationships look like? What does it look like to be around healthy people, not healthy people? What are some good decision-making tools to have when it comes to being in sexual situations with peers? What is good touch? What is bad touch? What is exploitive? What is not? These are the conversations we need to be having with youth, not whether or not, not trying to police them by taking them to the gynecologist to see if their hymen is intact. I think that is just poor sexual education altogether, especially for a woman, because women need to know how to own their own body and own their own sexuality. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this video off here, and I'm going to start the next video regarding holiday blues, just because I'm right at 5 minutes right now. So I hope this information was helpful. I will continue on. See you next time.